Welcome back to the Thrive 45 Method podcast with me, your host, nutritionist Stacey Nicole Smith. And this is the space where we talk all things weight loss and wellness for the woman in perimenopause and menopause. Now, today we're discussing a topic that is a big question I get from my audience, and that is, why do we get menopause belly fat when we're doing all the right things? So first, to explain this, I think it's important to have a basic understanding of why that's happening. What are the hormonal changes that are happening? And in the most basic sense, our estrogen levels are fluctuating, progesterone is decreasing, and with that, we have an increase in cortisol, the stress hormone. And that is, of course, famously known for putting fat right on the belly, that menopause belly. Now, with these changes, we are more prone to insulin resistance. And this simply means that when we are eating our insulin, basically, when we break down our food through our digestive tract, our insulin helps get that food up into our cells to be used as energy. Now, with these fluctuating hormones, our bodies can become more resistant to that. So our body is more likely to store our food as fat instead of burning it off as fuel. So your body's not broken. You're not alone. It's not only you. It's simply working with these changing hormones. That's all. So a different strategy is required. Now, when I hear from women, I'm doing all the right things, why is this happening? My question to you is, are you doing all the right things for your 25-year-old body or your 45, 50-year-old body? And I would even suggest, because the most basic things are, of course, women are doing intermittent fasting, eliminating carbs, doing strict calorie restricted diets and hours of cardio. And again, I would argue that when we're 25 and doing those things, it's not that we're doing the right things, it's that our body at that age is more able to handle it. And as we go into perimenopause with these hormonal fluctuations, our body just can't handle that kind of stuff anymore. So we just need to be a little more gentle with our body and a little more strategic. So I want to share with you a little bit of my story to illustrate to you why this is happening. So very briefly, I covered it on last week's episode. I lost and gained the same 50 pounds over and over my whole adult life. I finally lost the weight 20 years ago. When I'd had enough, I went to school to study nutrition to understand the science behind it. And here's the important part. I lost the weight. I've been helping other women do the same ever since. But because I'd been doing it for so long, 20 years, I had begun to eat very intuitively. So I was really in tune with, when I would eat when I was hungry, I wouldn't when I wasn't. So I will share with you exactly what I did when I turned 50. So when I turned 50, I noticed I was getting a little fluffy belly. And it wasn't a large weight gain. It was maybe 3-4 pounds. It was not that significant, but I hadn't changed anything. So I didn't know why this was happening. So when women say to me, I haven't changed anything, and yet I'm gaining this weight, I see you, because that happened to me. Now, I will tell you what I was doing wrong when I was eating intuitively, and I will tell you what I changed. Keep in mind, I had everything else dialed in and was eating very, very healthy. And a side note, eating healthy, I'm using quotation marks, doesn't even always mean it's in line with fat loss for your body. And I'm going to explain to you exactly what that means in my circumstance, and you can apply this to your life if it works for you as well. When I was eating intuitively for this many years, some mornings I got up and I wasn't hungry, so I would just have coffee. Some mornings I woke up and I was hungry and I would have breakfast right away. Like, it just depended on how I was feeling. And this worked for a really long time. Like I said, I dialed it in, I lost the weight, and I began eating very intuitively. Now, when I started gaining this weight on my belly, I have been overweight before. And so even though 3 or 4 pounds is not a lot of weight, I could see where this was going. And I don't like the feeling of having extra weight on. I know what it feels like. And so I needed to nip this in the bud real quick. And another side note, if you don't know this part of my story, I am Canadian living in a beach town in Mexico. So I am in a bikini almost daily. So for me, gaining that 3-4 pounds on my belly was not working for me. Now, the weight did come off very, very quickly. But again, it might be different for you. I don't know where you're at currently. But again, I had everything else dialed in. I just needed to make a couple of minor adjustments, and it did the trick very quickly for me. So as I dove deeper into weight loss for this particular age group that I am myself in, I was having black coffee for breakfast sometimes, if I wasn't hungry in the morning. And then I realized, okay, my cortisol levels are much higher in the morning now. I need to cut through those cortisol levels by balancing my blood sugar. When I was having only coffee on an empty stomach, it was increasing my cortisol further. So I stopped that right away and I started only having coffee with food. I also made sure I was very strategic and intentional of having 30 grams of protein within an hour of when I wake up. So that's what I do now. It took the weight off my belly very quickly. It did it before it became a bigger issue. And it was just minor adjustments. It's just knowing what was happening and how to work with it. So while I do still eat relatively intuitively, there are some things I'm very intentional with, and that's 2 of them. No coffee on an empty stomach, and I always have 30 grams of protein within an hour of waking. So that worked for me. So I say that and share that with you so that you don't feel it's inevitable. You don't feel that because you are doing everything right, again, quotation marks, and gaining weight, that it's inevitable. It's not. It's just having a simple understanding of, okay, this changed and this changed. How do I change how I'm eating to work with this? So when you think you're doing everything right, take a look at that. Is that everything right for your 25-year-old body, or is that everything right for your 45 and 50-year-old body? Don't lose hope. Don't get frustrated. I know it's easy to do. Now, one thing I do want to share with you as well, the 3 most common things I see women do to lose weight at this age. Again, intermittent fasting. Ladies, it doesn't work at this age. It can backfire and work against you. You should definitely be balancing out that blood sugar first thing in the morning, 30 grams of protein within an hour of waking. The second one is strict calorie controlled diets. Your body sees this as stressful, and it's going to, again, raise that cortisol. That menopause belly can be a result of that. So you want to eat to fuel and nourish your body properly, not starve your body. And by the way, you're going to be a lot happier eating this way, because these types of foods, they affect our moods, they affect our energy levels, they affect our gut health, they affect our sleep, they affect everything. So the good news today is that you should be eating plenty of great foods at the right times. Not only will this allow your body to shed that excess weight, but you're going to feel a lot better in the process. Now, I have done something for you as well. If you visit the show notes, I'm going to leave a link for you there. The third thing I see women doing all the time is cutting carbs. They're doing keto. This is working against you at this age. We need carbs. They're essential for thyroid function. They're essential for energy. They're essential for gut health. These things all tie in together for healthy and sustainable weight loss in perimenopause and menopause. So I put together a free guide to help you out. And this guide is all about how to unlock the secrets of fat loss through carbs. And it's going to share with you the right carbs to eat, the carbs to avoid, and when to eat them, as well as some sample meals that include the right types of carbs for you. To grab this guide for free, I'm going to leave a link in the show notes to this episode. As well, if you visit my bio, it will be the first link in my bio for you as well. I hope that helps you. And as always, I love to hear from you. What would you like to hear about on upcoming episodes? I hope you have a great day. Bye.